Where was Jesus before the world began? The secret of the eternal King. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere beyond time, beyond the stretch of stars, before the very fabric of the world was woven together. I want you to imagine a space untouched by mountains, oceans, or skies. A realm where beginnings and endings do not exist in the way we know them. And in this quiet, eternal expanse, there is someone who has always been, who holds the universe in his heart even before it had form. That someone is Jesus. Before the rivers ran, before the first morning light broke across the earth, before the whisper of wind stirred sere seas, he was there. He was not created, for he is the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Close your eyes if you like and picture a presence so calm, so vast, that it contains all life, all wisdom, all love, yet moves with perfect intimacy, like a gentle hand resting upon your own. There is a peace in knowing that before everything we see, before everything we touch, before the very moments we call beginning, Jesus existed in fullness, in completeness, in perfect harmony with the Father. Take a deep breath and feel that weightless wonder. Consider the quiet joy of his eternal existence, the delight he took in creation before creation itself had unfolded. Every star you see, every soft rustle of leaves, every heartbeat you feel now, flows from his thought, his word, his care. There is an intimacy in this, a reminder that the God who existed before time even began knows you personally. That same hands that shaped the cosmos reach out for yours now, offering comfort, offering guidance. As we walk through tonight's journey together, I invite you to settle in, to let your mind drift gently, without hurry, without expectation. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're settling in, leave a comment with your location and what time you're listening. Let this be a shared moment, a quiet reflection across the miles, across the hours, where we meet at the presence of Christ before all things. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. Number 1, Jesus as the eternal Word. Imagine a time when there was no time, a moment when beginnings had not yet begun. In this vast, unbroken stillness, there existed the Word, Jesus, the eternal Logos. John 1:1 tells us, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Let those words sink in slowly. Feel the weight of them. The depth, before anything we know existed, before mountains, oceans, skies, and even light. He was there, fully God, fully present, perfectly whole. The Word is not merely a concept, not just a force, but a living conscious presence, existing beyond the confines of time and space, and yet intimately connected to all that would ever come into being. Close your eyes and picture this, a presence so vast that it contains all creation within its thought, yet so tender that it knows every heart intimately. The Word existed not in solitude, for he was with God, in perfect fellowship, flowing in divine harmony. Imagine a song without beginning or end, a melody echoing through eternity, serene, powerful, unshakable. This is Jesus, the eternal Word, whose very nature is love, whose very essence is life itself. Even before creation, he is not distant but close, attentive, and active. The universe, in all its complexity, is a reflection of his eternal mind. Each particle of matter, each whisper of wind, each glimmer of light, all shaped by his will. Think about the intimacy of this eternal Word. He is not only the architect of creation, but also its heartbeat. Every law of nature, every rhythm of life flows from his voice. The word itself, logos, carries this weight of meaning, reason, wisdom, expression, life-giving force. And long before we could even comprehend such things, he was reasoning, planning, delighting in what was to come. The very act of creation was an extension of his thought, a manifestation of his divine essence. Before time, there was purpose. Before motion, there was intention. And that intention was love, the same love that reaches out to you now, here in this quiet moment. Imagine now the stillness of that pre-creation existence. There was no sunrise, no stars to illuminate the darkness, no oceans to lap against the shores. There was only the eternal Word, and in him all potential. He was light without the need for illumination, life without the necessity of living beings, and love without the requirement of recipients. Yet within him, the seeds of creation, the blueprint of all that would be, already existed. Every tree, every star, every breath of wind, every heartbeat of humanity was already in his mind, already encompassed in his eternal Word. Now, consider the fellowship with the Father. The Word was with God, John 1:1 reminds us. He was not alone. He was in perfect unity, in continuous, timeless communion. Picture two eternal beings, Father and Son, not bound by chronology, not constrained by the laws of space, yet fully engaged in conversation, in shared understanding, in perfect harmony. And from this communion flows everything: wisdom, love, creativity. Before there was anything else, there was relational perfection, a divine intimacy that no human mind can fully grasp. And it is from this relational fullness that the world and every heart in it would eventually be touched. The Word is also eternal beyond measurement. Think of it not in minutes or hours, but in forever, an existence without beginning or end. He is not constrained by change or decay. He does not grow old or falter. He is constant, a foundation upon which the vast expanse of creation would one day rest. There is a comforting thought here, a quiet anchor for the soul. In a world that shifts, that trembles, that often feels uncertain, the eternal Word remains. He is unchanging, unwavering, and wholly sufficient. And even now, his presence encompasses all time, touching both the distant past and the present moment you are in. Consider also the creative power inherent in being the Word. A word has authority, it carries meaning, influence, and the ability to bring things into existence. And so the eternal Word is not silent. He is the origin, the force, the very expression through which all things came to be. Every spoken command in Scripture, every creative act, every declaration of purpose is a reflection of this same eternal authority. Even before Genesis, his Word was shaping the formless, preparing the canvas of creation, and holding all potential in perfect balance. And yet the beauty of this eternal Word is not only in his majesty, but in his intimacy. He is vast, eternal, unsearchable, yet knows each of us by name. He is the heartbeat of galaxies and the whisper in a quiet room. He is the infinite, and he is present in the small, tender moments of your life. The Word that was there before mountains existed is the same Word that bends down to meet you here tonight, in the gentle silence, guiding your thoughts, inviting your soul to rest. As you picture this eternal Word, notice the peace that comes with understanding his constancy. There is no chaos in his existence, no uncertainty. He is perfect order, perfect love, perfect life, and before anything was, he was. This is the mystery, the awe, the quiet wonder of Jesus as the eternal Word. He is the beginning, not just of creation, but of hope, of love, of every story that will ever unfold. And in him you find a resting place, a place to surrender, to breathe, to simply be in the presence of eternity itself. Now, imagine yourself carried gently on the currents of his eternal presence, enveloped in the quiet majesty of the Word who has always been, who has always known, who has always loved. The same Word that shaped the stars, that whispered life into the void, that held the universe in his hands, is here with you now. And as we move forward, we will begin to see how this eternal Word became not only the voice of creation, but the light, the life, the love that flows into every corner of existence, reaching even into your heart tonight. Number 2, Jesus as creator of all things. Now let's step a little closer into the quiet mystery of creation and the hands through which all things came into being. Colossians 1:16 tells us, "For by him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things were created through him and for him." Think of that for a moment. Everything. The stars that sparkle in the night sky, the winds that sweep through valleys, the oceans that stretch endlessly, even the tiniest grain of sand was crafted by his will, shaped through his word, and held in his care before time began, before the first sunrise. Jesus was already active, already forming, already envisioning the universe with the precision of infinite wisdom and the gentleness of perfect love. Imagine a world yet to exist, a void of darkness and silence. Into that emptiness he spoke, and the universe responded, not with clamor or chaos, but with harmony. Creation is not random. It is an expression of the mind, heart, and intention of the Creator. Each galaxy spirals precisely where he intended. Each planet orbits in its rhythm, and every living being would eventually emerge according to his plan. This is a Creator who designs with love, who orchestrates with wisdom, and whose vision encompasses both the cosmic and the intimate. Before you existed, before even the earth had formed, you were in his thoughts, and in that thought was care, purpose, and a plan that flows even into your life now. Picture the quiet majesty of his work. Imagine him shaping the first mountains, pressing rivers into valleys, letting light scatter across the void like gold dust. It is a creative act, not hurried, not careless, but deliberate and full of wonder. The Bible tells us that he delights in creation, that his joy was in the world even before it existed. That delight is not distant or abstract. It is tangible. It resonates through every particle of existence, every whisper of wind, every rustle of leaves. When we see beauty in the world, sunsets that take our breath, flowers that bloom in gentle patterns, waves that crash and recede, we are glimpsing the expression of his eternal joy and intention. The role of Jesus as creator also carries with it a deep sense of intimacy. He is not a distant architect, observing from afar. He is intimately involved, fully present in each act of creation. Genesis 1:1-3 shows the careful unfolding of his plan. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Each word he spoke became reality, not by force, but by divine authority, reflecting a profound harmony between will and action. This is the same authority that still speaks into our lives today, guiding, shaping, and sustaining. Creation itself is a testament to his presence, a quiet echo of his love for all that exists. Consider the invisible aspects of creation too. The realms we cannot see, Colossians 1:16, reminds us of thrones, dominions, rulers, and authorities. Spiritual realities beyond human comprehension, all created through him and for him. Even these unseen dimensions bear the mark of his design, operating under his purpose, contributing to the order of the universe. There is a perfection here that is hard for us to grasp fully. A balance that reflects not only power but care. He did not simply create for function or spectacle. He created for relationship, for expression, for life. Everything that exists, from the largest star to the quiet movement of the spirit, reflects his hand, his heart, his intention. And in creation we see a gentle rhythm, a pace of care. There is a morning and evening, a cycle of seasons, a harmony in the movement of planets and tides. Each element works together, not by accident, but because the Creator willed it. He is not only artist, but conductor, ensuring that everything plays its part, not for his benefit, but for the fullness of the created order. And in this orchestration, there is a reflection of his love. A love that delights not in control for its own sake, but in the flourishing of what he has made. Every leaf, every star, every heartbeat is part of this symphony, resonating with the life-giving presence of Christ. Imagine, too, the care in the smallest details. The patterns in a snowflake, the intricate design of an eye, the precise laws that govern physics and life. These are not random. They are evidence of a Creator who knows and delights in detail, who shapes with infinite understanding, and who considers even the smallest aspects of his creation with intention. And yet, this same Creator who holds galaxies in his hand also holds you, personally, tenderly, as part of his plan. There is a sacredness in knowing that the same power that set the stars in motion is the one who knows your name, your heart, your every struggle and joy. As we reflect on Jesus as the Creator of all things, there is also an invitation to trust in the order, the care, and the purpose that flows from his hands. Creation is not chaotic. It is purposeful. It is not careless. It is deliberate. And just as he shaped the heavens and the earth, he continues to shape our lives, our hearts, our paths, all with wisdom and love. There is a quiet assurance in this knowledge, a calm that can settle the mind, a rest that can soothe the soul. We are not adrift in a random universe. We are held, guided, and known by the one who created everything. So, as you picture the vast expanse of the cosmos, the glimmering stars, the rolling oceans, the forests that breathe with life, let your mind also rest on the Creator who envisioned it all. He is not only the architect of the physical universe, but the sustainer of all life, the silent guardian, the eternal lover of souls. His creative work is ongoing, not limited to the past, not confined to history. It flows into the present and extends into the future, carrying with it a divine promise that nothing is without purpose, nothing is outside his care, and everything, including you, is cherished beyond measure. And now, with this understanding, let us gently move forward, feeling the presence of the one who made all things, who continues to breathe life into every corner of creation, and whose love, expressed through the very act of creation, reaches to us even here, in this quiet moment, guiding us deeper into the mystery and wonder of his eternal presence. Number 3, Jesus as life itself. As we continue this gentle journey, let your thoughts drift to the profound truth that Jesus is life itself. John 1:4 tells us, "In him was life, and that life was the light of men." Before any rivers flowed, before any creatures breathed, before even the earth had taken shape, the source of all life existed in fullness. He was not simply a participant in creation. He was the very essence from which all life would emerge. Every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of conscious awareness that would ever occur was rooted in him, flowing outward from his eternal presence. Picture for a moment the emptiness before creation, a vast expanse of nothingness. Into this void, life did not simply appear. It emanated from him. It was intentional, deliberate, imbued with order, purpose, and beauty. This is not life as we often experience it, fragile, fleeting, uncertain, but eternal, self-sustaining, and unbounded. In him was the principle of life itself, a fountain of existence that would ripple through all creation. Even before light scattered across the void, even before the first seed of a tree or the first drop of water existed, life was there, eternal, whole, and vibrant, flowing from the heart of Jesus. Think of the intimacy of this life. It was not abstract or impersonal. This eternal life held within it the potential for every joy, every challenge, every moment of human experience. Every person, every creature, every star and wave carries within it the echo of this divine life. The hands that would shape our world also shape the possibility of your own existence. There is a quiet wonder in knowing that the life within you is not accidental, not random. It originates from the eternal Word, the living presence of Christ, the source of all that breathes and moves. And yet, life in him is more than mere existence. It is light, as John 1:4 reveals. Even in the deepest darkness of the pre-creation void, life was paired with illumination, a brilliance that cannot be dimmed. This light is not merely physical, it is spiritual, eternal, and nurturing. It is a light that guides, comforts, and sustains. Imagine a darkness so complete that nothing yet exists, and then envision life itself piercing through that darkness, bringing clarity, purpose, and hope. That is the nature of Jesus' eternal life, a light that reaches into the unknown, into the void, into the very corners of your heart, even now. Consider, too, how this eternal life anticipates the life that would come to humanity. The life that pulses within the universe is a shadow, a reflection, a gift drawn from the fullness of Christ's eternal existence. Every moment of vitality, every sensation of joy, every spark of consciousness is a small mirror of the life that has always been. And even before creation, he knew the joy of sharing that life, the delight in seeing his creation flourish, the tender care that would shape every living being. It is a life that reaches forward across time, a constant current of love and presence. The life of Jesus is also sustaining. Before anything was, before light or land or sky, his life held all things in balance. There was no chaos in his presence. There was order, a gentle harmony flowing from his eternal being. Even the invisible aspects of the universe, thrones, dominions, rulers, and authorities, are sustained by him. His life is not limited to what is seen, measured, or understood. It is the invisible breath that moves through the cosmos, the quiet force that maintains the integrity of creation. Every atom, every planet, every living creature exists because his life continues to uphold it. And in this sustaining life, there is profound intimacy. The same life that maintains galaxies, stars, and oceans also reaches into the depths of your soul. He knows your thoughts, your struggles, your joys, your fears. He is not distant, he is near. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, is a reminder that his life flows into yours, connecting you to the eternal, to the divine, to the presence that has always been and will always be. There is comfort in this, a quiet reassurance that you are part of a vast, intentional, and loving design. Imagine, too, the gentleness of this eternal life. It does not force, it does not dominate, it nurtures, it sustains, it invites. Just as a river nourishes the lands it touches, just as sunlight brings growth without coercion, so the life of Christ flows into creation and into each of us. Even before creation, this life was ready to give, to sustain, to illuminate, to love. And now in your quiet moment, that same life flows to you, a reminder of His presence, His care, and His unending devotion. This life is also eternal. It knows no beginning, no end. It is constant, unshakable, perfect in its fullness. Unlike the transient things of the world, it cannot fade, cannot falter, cannot diminish. It existed before the stars and will continue long after they have burned out. This eternal nature is not merely abstract. It is meant for you, meant for all who will accept its gift. The life of Jesus invites us to participate, to share in the eternal light, to rest in the assurance that death is not the end, but a continuation within Him, a return to the source from which all life flows. And finally, reflect on the joy and wonder of this truth. Life itself, eternal, uncreated, radiant, and sustaining, flows from Jesus. It reaches across time and space, touches every corner of the universe, and enters into your heart even now. Every living thing you see, every breath you take, every quiet moment of reflection is connected to that eternal life. It is a profound, comforting, awe-inspiring reality. The same presence that created the cosmos, the same presence that spoke light into the void, the same presence that holds all things together is alive within you, guiding, sustaining, and loving. Let your mind rest in this gentle truth. Feel the calm, the peace, the quiet joy of knowing that the life you live is not separate from the Creator, but a part of His eternal divine life. And as you hold that image in your mind, know that we will continue to journey deeper, exploring the fellowship, the wisdom, and the love that flowed from Him even before creation, touching everything and everyone in ways both seen and unseen. Number 4. Jesus in divine fellowship. Now let us draw closer to the quiet, eternal communion between the Father and the Son, a fellowship that predates all creation. John 1:1 has already revealed that the Word was with God. But consider the depth of that relationship. It is not merely proximity or coexistence. It is an intimate, unbroken fellowship, a continuous exchange of love, understanding, and perfect unity. Imagine a presence so profound, so complete, that it requires no beginning or end to define it, and within that presence there is harmony beyond comprehension. Before anything existed, before time, space, stars, or even the concept of creation, the Father and the Son existed in this sacred communion. Picture it, two eternal beings, perfectly united, sharing thought, will, and essence. There is no conflict, no confusion, no distance, only unity. Their fellowship is alive, vibrant, and filled with joy. Proverbs 8:30 whispers of wisdom's delight. Then I was beside him like a master workman, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing before him always. That delight is mutual. It is the very foundation of eternity. The love shared in this divine fellowship is neither fleeting nor conditional. It is complete, radiant, and endlessly overflowing. And from this love, everything that would ever be sprang forth. Creation itself is an echo of this eternal dialogue, a manifestation of divine harmony made visible in the heavens and on the earth. Reflect for a moment on the mystery of this fellowship. Imagine the silence before creation, yet within it a dialogue of infinite wisdom and love. There is no hurry, no pressure, only the gentle, eternal communion of two persons of the Trinity. This fellowship is the source of life, the origin of all light, and the blueprint for every living soul. In the quiet eternity of God, the Son does not act alone. He acts in perfect harmony with the Father, flowing in unity that is beyond human comprehension. It is an existence without ego, without competition, but full of purpose and delight. This divine fellowship also carries the seed of relationship for all creation. Every connection, every bond, every act of love in the universe is a reflection, however small, of the perfect communion between Father and Son. Even before creation, this relational pattern existed. It shows us that God's heart is relational, that love is at the core of his being, and that everything he does flows from this infinite, unchanging relationship. Think of the friendships, families, and communities in your own life. All are shadows, reflections of the eternal fellowship that existed before time. And in this, there is a gentle reminder that your own relationships are sacred, that they are meant to mirror in a small way the divine love of the Trinity. Consider also the Spirit, who flows from this fellowship, though he is not yet fully revealed in the creation narrative. The Spirit is the expression, the movement, the breath of the Father and the Son in their perfect unity. He is the presence that bridges heart and mind, heaven and earth, eternity and time. Even before creation, the Spirit's essence was present in the eternal fellowship, completing the divine dance, the continuous exchange of love and understanding. Together, the Father, Son, and Spirit form a perfect, unbreakable triad, a communion of persons in eternal harmony, a fellowship that invites creation to participate in its beauty and order. Imagine being in the presence of such fellowship. There is peace beyond understanding, a joy untouched by chaos, a stability that no force could shake. Before creation, there was no need for explanation, no desire for approval. There was only perfect understanding and acceptance. And from this completeness flows a gentle invitation to us, a call to rest in the knowledge that the same Jesus who existed in perfect fellowship with the Father is present with us now. The same love, the same understanding, the same perfect unity is extended to every heart willing to receive it. This fellowship also teaches us something profound about the nature of God's creation. Everything is relational because everything originates from a relational God. The universe is not just matter in motion, it is life, it is intention, it is love expressed in visible and invisible forms. The stars, the mountains, the oceans, even the smallest creatures all exist within the context of a relational design. And so does humanity. We were created not as isolated beings, but as reflections of a God whose essence is fellowship. Every breath, every heartbeat, every connection you experience is a whisper of that eternal communion, a reminder that you are invited into relationship with the eternal God, just as creation itself was drawn from his relational heart. Let your mind drift further into this mystery. Picture Jesus, before time, in perfect harmony with the Father. Every thought, every word, every intention is a dance of love. And from that love flows the potential for everything that exists. It is a love that delights, that rejoices, that overflows in creativity and wisdom. And in this eternal fellowship, there is a lesson for your own life, that peace, joy, and harmony originate in relationship with God, and that when we connect with him, we are touching the same eternal truth that existed before the stars were set in place. The beauty of this fellowship is also in its quiet power. It is not loud or boastful. It does not need recognition or validation. It simply is, and from its existence, life, wisdom, joy, and creation. This is the nature of Jesus' eternal fellowship with the Father, a calm, steady, unshakable presence, full of purpose, full of love, and full of light. And even now that same fellowship reaches toward you, inviting you to rest, to listen, to feel the gentle assurance of God's intimate love. As you imagine this eternal communion, take a moment to breathe in the peace it offers. Let it sink into your soul. Let it calm your thoughts. Let it remind you that you are never alone, that the same Jesus who existed in perfect fellowship with the Father is the one who walks with you now, guiding you, loving you, sustaining you. There is a serenity here, a depth of understanding, a quiet joy that nothing in this world can shake. And as we move forward, we will see how this fellowship, this divine relationship, extends into creation, into life, and into your heart, drawing you closer to the eternal presence of Christ. Number 5, Jesus as pre-existent King. Now, let us reflect on the majesty and authority of Jesus as the eternal King, a ruler whose reign predates any earthly throne, any kingdom, any ruler. Psalm 93:1 declares, "The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty. The Lord is robed in strength. He has established the world. It shall never be moved." Imagine a sovereignty so vast, so complete, that it exists beyond the constraints of time and space. Before mountains formed, before oceans carved their path, before the first human step ever echoed upon the earth, Jesus reigned. His kingship is not like any human monarchy. It is eternal, unshakable, radiant with authority, wisdom, and love. Picture him in the stillness before creation, clothed not in robes of gold or crowned with jewels, but in the majesty of eternal life itself. His throne is not a seat of pomp, but a presence that radiates order, purpose, and stability. Every law of nature, every rhythm of the cosmos, every movement of creation is a reflection of his reign. The sun rises and sets, not by chance, but by the authority of the King who established the heaven. The stars spin in their orbits, not randomly, but as a part of the grand symphony of his rule. Even before creation, his kingship existed as the foundation upon which all things would rest. Consider the uniqueness of his sovereignty. Human kings must defend their realms. They are subject to time, mortality, and the uncertainty of circumstance. But Jesus, as the pre-existent King, is eternal. His authority does not waver, his wisdom does not fail, and his love is unwavering. There is no challenge that could destabilize his rule, no rebellion beyond his understanding, no shadow that could obscure his light. In the stillness before time, his majesty was already fully realized, a presence both powerful and tender, both commanding and compassionate. Think, too, about the relational aspect of his kingship. A true king does not rule in isolation. He rules with intention, with care, and with justice. Jesus' reign is born from his eternal fellowship with the Father. From the harmony of the Trinity, his rulership is not imposed or coercive. It is the natural outflow of his perfect character, his wisdom, and his love. Even in the quiet before creation, he exercised his authority with joy, delighting in the possibilities of what could be. This pre-existent kingship assures us that every action, every decision, every turn of history is guided by a ruler whose heart is unchanging and whose vision encompasses all. Imagine the breadth of this reign. It is not limited to a region, a nation, or even a planet. It extends across the universe, encompassing realms both visible and invisible. Every angel, every spiritual being, every aspect of the cosmos falls under his sovereign care. Psalm 24:1 reminds us, "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." This ownership is not possessive in the way humans understand property. It is protective, nurturing, guiding, sustaining. He rules not for glory alone, but to bring life, order, and beauty into existence. And consider the intentionality of his reign. Every part of creation, from the grandest galaxy to the tiniest leaf, is part of a divine plan orchestrated by the King. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is outside his authority. The mountains, the rivers, the winds, the seas, the creatures of land, air, and water, all respond to his will. Every heartbeat of humanity, every thought, every breath, every moment of joy and sorrow exists within the framework of his sovereignty. This is the depth of his kingship, an authority that embraces all things, governs all things, and sustains all things, even before they exist in form. Now, picture the tender aspect of this eternal reign, even as the king of all creation. He does not rule from a distant throne of indifference. He is intimately involved, knowing the smallest details, attending to the least of his creation with care. His kingship is expressed in the nurturing of life, in the orchestration of beauty, in the guiding of events toward his intended purpose. Imagine the rivers that will one day nourish the lands, the seeds that will blossom into forests, the stars that will guide travelers across the earth, all conceived in the mind of the eternal King, all expressions of his authority and care. His pre-existent kingship also reveals the nature of divine justice and righteousness. A king is not only authority and power, he is the standard of goodness, wisdom, and truth. Even before creation, his rule embodies perfect justice, perfect understanding, perfect love. There is no error in his governance, no flaw in his judgment, no imbalance in his decisions. This eternal standard is the foundation upon which all moral order and ethical understanding will eventually rest. It is the assurance that the world he would create would not be random or chaotic, but filled with purpose, order, and intention. Think of the comfort in knowing that the same Jesus who reigned before creation continues to reign today. The authority that shaped the cosmos, that orchestrated the heavens, that set the stars in motion, has not diminished. His kingship is eternal, his vision unbroken, and his care undiminished. Every challenge, every uncertainty, every moment of doubt in our lives is met by a king whose wisdom and love transcend time. There is a serenity in knowing that the universe and everything in it, including you, is held under the tender, vigilant gaze of the eternal King. As you reflect on his pre-existent kingship, imagine the calm majesty of a ruler who neither grows weary nor falters. He reigns with gentle authority, with infinite wisdom, and with perfect love. There is a stillness in his presence, a quiet power that does not demand attention, but quietly sustains all things. And in this knowledge there is rest, peace, and assurance. The same King who existed before the mountains, before the oceans, before the earth itself, is present with us now, guiding, loving, and upholding everything according to his perfect plan. So, as you feel the weight of his eternal reign, let your heart rest in the understanding that his authority is not distant or harsh, but intimate, tender, and sustaining. Every star, every creature, every heartbeat, every gentle whisper of wind exists because of his eternal kingship. And just as he ruled before time began, so too he continues to hold you, guide you, and envelop you in the majesty, wisdom, and love of his eternal presence. Number 6, the light before darkness. As we continue to wander through this gentle reflection, let us pause and consider the light that existed even before the darkness. Genesis 1:3 tells us, "And God said, 'Let there be light.' And there was." But long before God spoke the cosmos into existence, the eternal Word, Jesus, was already radiant with light. Not a light that could be measured by human eyes, not a light confined to the physical, but a spiritual, eternal illumination that transcends time, space, and the limitations of our understanding. This light is life itself, love itself, hope itself. It is the very presence of Christ shining into the void before creation began. Picture the vastness of the pre-creation void. There is no land, no sky, no sea, no sun, no stars, Only infinite potential stretches in every direction. And yet, in that emptiness, the light of Christ shines. It does not merely illuminate, it creates clarity, purpose, and order. It is a light that pierces the deepest darkness, not harshly or violently, but with a gentle, encompassing radiance. Imagine standing in that void and feeling warmth, comfort, and guidance from a presence so pure and enduring that all fear and uncertainty dissolve in its glow. This is the light of Jesus before the cosmos, the eternal luminescence that would one day illuminate every corner of creation. Think also about the intimate power of this light. It is not a distant, untouchable phenomenon. It is personal, relational, and life-giving. Every star that would one day shine, every sunrise and sunset, every glimmering reflection on water, all are echoes of this original light. It flows from his very being and reaches into all things, shaping and sustaining the universe. And in this, there is a quiet reminder for us. The same light that pierced the darkness before creation reaches into our own hearts today. It illuminates our fears, our doubts, our uncertainties, guiding us gently toward peace and understanding. Reflect for a moment on the contrast between light and darkness. Darkness in the pre-creation world was not malevolent. It was simply unformed, waiting for the touch of divine illumination. And Jesus, the eternal light, was already present, already shining, already offering guidance and clarity. There is a profound symbolism here for our lives. Darkness represents confusion, fear, and uncertainty. Light represents knowledge, love, and hope. And before creation, Jesus' light was already at work, establishing order, meaning, and purpose. Even in the moments when our own world seems shadowed, his light is unchanging, constant, and available. Consider the beauty and gentleness of this eternal light. It is not blinding, it is comforting. It is not chaotic, it is harmonious. It is not fleeting, it is eternal. This light sustains the potential of creation itself, preparing every corner of the universe to receive life, joy, and beauty. Each moment of illumination is a reflection of his eternal care, and as we rest in the thought of this light, we can feel a sense of serenity, a quiet peace, knowing that no darkness, no void, no uncertainty can ever overcome it. Now, picture the unfolding of creation as a symphony of light. The Word, the eternal Jesus, moves through the void, and the first rays of creation begin to take shape. Light touches the waters, the skies, the formless land, and everything begins to respond to its presence. Even before humans existed, even before time was counted, light was already preparing the way, ensuring that life, growth, and flourishing could emerge. This is not just physical illumination, it is spiritual, emotional, and relational illumination. It is the light of understanding, the light of wisdom, the light of love that would one day guide every person who would walk upon the earth. And in this eternal light, there is comfort for our souls. Imagine sitting quietly, allowing that light to surround you, to fill the spaces of your heart that feel dark or uncertain. It is a light that reassures, that restores, that renews. The same light that shone before the stars existed shines within you now. It reaches into your fears, your doubts, your questions, bringing clarity, hope, and love. There is a gentle invitation in this light to rest, to trust, to be guided by the presence of Christ that has always been and always will be. Consider the continuity of this light. It does not flicker, it does not fade, it is eternal, unchanging, perfect in its radiance, and just as it existed before the world began, it continues to shine now. touching every life, illuminating every heart, guiding every step. There is a quiet majesty in this thought, a reassurance that even in our darkest moments, there is a light that cannot be overcome. The eternal Jesus, the source of all life and light, is with us, shining gently, steadily, unendingly. As we meditate on this pre-creation light, imagine it wrapping around you like a soft, warm blanket, filling you with peace and security. Feel the presence of the eternal Word, the light that has always been, the love that has always existed, reaching into your life. There is no rush, no expectation, just the quiet, unchanging radiance of Jesus. It is a light that does not demand, but invites. It does not pressure, but comforts. It does not vanish, but endures, steady and constant, like the gentle pulse of your own heartbeat in the night. And in this gentle glow, take a moment to rest, to breathe, to let the wonder of it fill your heart. The light that existed before darkness, before creation, before time itself, shines now in you, around you, and through you. It is a quiet, eternal presence, full of love, wisdom, and care, guiding you gently into peace, into understanding, and into the quiet embrace of the eternal Christ. Number 7. Jesus as the foundation of wisdom. As we continue our journey, let your mind rest on the profound truth that Jesus is the foundation of all wisdom. Proverbs 8:22-31 paints a picture of wisdom as eternal, present before creation, rejoicing in the work of God, and delighting in all that was to come. Picture Jesus, the eternal Word, not only as life and light, but as the embodiment of divine understanding, the very source from which all knowledge, order, and insight flow. Before a single star existed, before the oceans formed, before the first seed sprouted, His wisdom held everything in perfect alignment. It is a wisdom so deep, so infinite, that it cannot be measured, contained, or fully grasped by human minds. Imagine this, the void before creation, silent, formless, and limitless. Into that vast emptiness flows the eternal wisdom of Christ, shaping potential into purpose, preparing the cosmos with intention and care. This wisdom is not cold or distant, it is vibrant, relational, and life-giving. It anticipates every need, every consequence, every ripple effect of creation. The mountains, the rivers, the cycles of day and night, the laws of nature, all are expressions of this foundational wisdom. It is a wisdom that sees the end from the beginning, that understands the balance of all things, and that weaves harmony into the very fabric of existence. Consider the intimate nature of this wisdom. It is not simply intellectual knowledge, but an understanding imbued with love, foresight, and intention. The same hands that would shape the heavens, set the stars in motion, and craft the delicate balance of life also reach toward you in your quiet moments now, offering guidance, understanding, and clarity. Even before creation, His wisdom encompassed every detail, anticipating the joys, struggles, and choices of humanity. Every decision, every relationship, every moment of our lives falls within the scope of His eternal insight, held gently in His understanding. Think about the beauty and care of this divine wisdom. It rejoices in the act of creation, delighting in each star, each planet, each living being. It is celebratory, creative, and thoughtful. Wisdom is not a distant abstraction. It is alive, active, and relational. Every pattern in nature, every law of the cosmos, every element of life bears its signature. There is a quiet majesty here, a deep peace in knowing that everything is governed by the eternal insight of Christ, that nothing is accidental, and that every detail is purposeful. Imagine, too, the guiding power of his wisdom. It is not imposed through force, but expressed through gentle orchestration. The movements of the planets, the cycles of the seas, the rhythm of life, all flow from the understanding of the eternal Word. In a sense, creation itself is a reflection, a mirror of divine reasoning, each element in harmony, each part contributing to the whole. Even the unseen aspects of the universe, the spiritual realms, the thrones and dominions, are ordered and sustained by this profound wisdom. Nothing is overlooked, nothing is forgotten, and nothing escapes the insight of Jesus. Consider what it means for humanity to partake in this wisdom. Though we are small, finite, and limited in understanding, the wisdom of Christ is available to guide, to teach, to illuminate. When we seek guidance, discernment, or understanding, we are connecting to the same eternal foundation that existed before the world began. Every choice we make, every path we walk is enriched when aligned with the wisdom of the one who knows all, sees all, and has held all in perfect understanding from eternity. Think about the patience of this wisdom. It does not rush. It does not force outcomes. It unfolds gently, carefully, with precision. Even before time existed, it anticipated the unfolding of history, the emergence of life, and the eventual arrival of humanity. There is a calmness in knowing that the complexities of life are held within an eternal plan, crafted by an intelligence that is both infinite and loving. It invites trust, encourages reflection, and fosters peace. Now reflect on the joy embedded in his wisdom. Proverbs 8 describes wisdom as rejoicing before the Lord, delighting in all he made. Before creation, before the stars, before life, Jesus, the eternal Word, delighted in the possibilities, the potential, the beauty of what would come. This joy is relational, not solitary. It celebrates life, creation, and love. It is the same joy that continues to shine through every act of creation, every expression of life, and every tender moment in our own hearts. Consider also the inseparability of his wisdom and his love. They are not two separate qualities. They are intertwined, flowing together as a single eternal truth. His wisdom is caring, anticipating needs, fostering harmony, nurturing life. It is expressed not only in the grandeur of galaxies or the complexity of ecosystems, but also in the smallest details, the gentle way sunlight filters through trees, the precise balance of ecosystems, the tender moments of human insight and compassion. Every detail, no matter how small, carries the signature of his eternal understanding. As you meditate on this, picture Jesus as the eternal foundation of wisdom, the source from which all understanding flows. It is a wisdom that shaped the universe, guided creation, sustained life, and continues to guide your own path. Even before time began, this wisdom was active, rejoicing, intentional, and infinitely patient. And now it reaches into your life, offering clarity, insight, and calm, reminding you that nothing is outside the scope of his understanding and care. So let yourself rest in the gentle reassurance that the wisdom of Jesus is constant, eternal, and unshakable. It flows through the universe, through creation, and through your very life. Every star, every leaf, every heartbeat, every moment of quiet reflection is held within the guidance of his perfect insight. And as we move forward in our journey, we will see how this eternal wisdom intertwines with covenant, promise, and divine care, offering not only understanding, but also hope, protection, and profound love. Number 8, Jesus' role in eternal covenant. As we move deeper into this quiet reflection, let us focus on the eternal covenant, the divine promise that existed before the world began, and how Jesus is at its center. Scripture reveals that God's plans are not random. They are deliberate, intentional, and rooted in love. Long before creation, before the stars were placed in the sky or the oceans flowed into their bounds, Jesus was part of a covenantal relationship with the Father, a promise of redemption, guidance, and faithful love that would extend across all time and space. This covenant is not merely an agreement, it is a living expression of God's heart, anchored in the eternal presence of Christ. Imagine a space beyond time, a realm where beginnings and endings do not yet exist. In that space, Jesus exists in perfect unity with the Father, fully aware of the plan that will unfold, fully present in the assurance of divine love. The covenant is eternal, not reactive or provisional. It is not made in response to human behavior, but flows naturally from the character of God Himself. It is a promise of faithfulness, of purpose, of unwavering commitment, and Jesus, as the eternal Word, stands at its heart, sustaining, affirming, and enacting its truth. Reflect on the personal nature of this covenant. Even before humanity existed, the plan for redemption was conceived with care, intentionality, and profound love. This is not an abstract concept or a distant theological idea. It is a living promise, one that reflects God's desire for relationship, connection, and restoration. Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, was intimately involved in this plan. Every act of creation, every word of Scripture, every unfolding of history bears the imprint of this covenant. From the very beginning, the world was being prepared to receive life, love, and redemption through Him. Consider, too, the continuity of this covenant. Hebrews 13:8 reminds us, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. From the pre-creation era to our present moment, the covenant remains steadfast. The promise that flowed through eternity before time began is the same promise that meets you now in your quiet moment, in your everyday life. It is a living, breathing reality that transcends centuries, languages, cultures, and circumstances. The eternal covenant assures us that God's love is unchanging. His plan is perfect, and His commitment to humanity is unwavering. Now, picture the depth of wisdom, foresight, and care involved in this eternal covenant. Jesus knew the challenges humanity would face, the struggles that would arise, the darkness that would try to overcome the light. And yet, within His pre-existent wisdom and presence, the plan for redemption was already woven. He is not only the source of life and light, but also the mediator of God's promise, the bridge between divine intention and human experience. This is a covenant that does not depend on our understanding or perfection. It depends on His faithfulness, His presence, and His love. Think about the joy embedded in this covenant. Proverbs 8 describes wisdom as rejoicing before God, delighting in creation. Similarly, the covenant is not cold or transactional. It is full of delight, joy, and purpose. Every step of the plan, from creation to the calling of Abraham, to the sending of prophets, to the eventual birth of Jesus in Bethlehem, reflects this divine delight. It is a promise made in love and sustained by love, intended to bring life, hope, and restoration to all who would accept it. Even before the stars shone in the night sky, this covenant existed, radiant with potential, full of care, and alive with intention. Reflect also on the protective nature of this covenant. It is not fragile or easily broken. It is anchored in the eternal presence of Christ, unshakable and unwavering. The covenant anticipates trials, challenges, and opposition. It is designed to guide, sustain, and protect, ensuring that God's plan unfolds in perfect timing and order. Nothing can thwart it, nothing can diminish it, and nothing can separate us from the love that underpins it. Jesus, in His eternal pre-existence, is both the architect and the enforcer of this promise. ensuring its fulfillment through time and into eternity. Imagine the relational richness of this covenant. It is deeply personal, extending beyond cosmic design into individual lives. Every person, every heart, every choice is encompassed by this divine promise. The covenant is not abstract. It is intimate, reaching into the personal journey of each soul. Jesus, who existed before creation, is fully aware of your life, your circumstances, your joys and your struggles. The same Christ who upheld the universe and established the foundations of creation upholds the promise of your redemption, your guidance, and your eternal worth. Think, too, about the hope embedded in this covenant. It is not static or passive. It actively sustains, guides, and comforts. When the world seems uncertain, when life feels fragile or overwhelming, the eternal covenant reminds us that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, guided by the one who knows all, sees all, and loves unconditionally. Jesus' presence assures us that even when we cannot perceive the full picture, we are held in the hands of the faithful, the wise, and the eternal. The eternal covenant also teaches us about faithfulness. Just as Jesus has existed unchanging before the world began, he continues to uphold the promises of God without faltering. This is a covenant built on the reliability of the Creator, the steadfastness of the eternal Word, and the enduring love that flows through all of creation. There is a calm reassurance here, a quiet peace that can anchor our souls even amid life's turbulence. As we reflect on Jesus' role in the eternal covenant, imagine resting in the gentle certainty of this promise. Feel the care, the foresight, the unchanging presence that has existed before time, guiding every moment of your life, every heartbeat, every breath. The covenant is alive, eternal, and personal, designed not only to uphold the universe, but to embrace your soul with love and purpose. So as we continue, let us hold on to the quiet wonder that Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, is not only the source of creation and wisdom, but also the eternal guarantee of God's faithfulness, a promise that has never wavered, that has existed before the world began, and that continues to sustain, guide, and comfort us in every moment of our lives.
Number 9, Jesus as the pre-existent shepherd.
As we move deeper into the quiet reflection of Christ's eternal presence, imagine him as the shepherd of all that exists. Psalm 23 tells us, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And even though these words were written in a time long after creation, the reality they describe stretches back into eternity. Before the first mountain rose, before the oceans flowed, before life breathed upon the earth, Jesus was already tending to all things with care, guiding, sustaining, and watching over creation in perfect love. The shepherd's heart is eternal, reaching across time and space, holding everything in his tender gaze. Picture the world as a vast expanse of potential, a canvas not yet filled, a wilderness not yet explored. Into this formless void, the shepherd moves not with force, but with gentle authority and vigilant care. He knows the pathways that every star will take, the cycles that rivers will follow, the growth that every seed will achieve. Every plan, every pattern, every rhythm of life exists within his knowledge. Before creation, he was already leading, guiding, and preparing the way, ensuring that every aspect of what was to come would thrive within his care. Consider the intimacy of his shepherding. Shepherds guide with attention, patience, and a deep awareness of the needs of their flock, and so it was with Jesus. Pre-existent and eternal, he was aware of every detail, every potential, every future heartbeat of humanity and all living creatures. This care is not distant or abstract. It is personal, deliberate, and relational. Even before the first human breathed the air, the eternal shepherd's heart reached forward, weaving protection, guidance, and nurture into the tapestry of creation. Think about the security and rest that comes from this eternal shepherding. A shepherd walks with the flock, anticipates danger, provides sustenance, and leads to safe pastures. Before time existed, Jesus was already fulfilling this role for creation. He held the cosmos in his hands, guiding every movement, every orbit, every life toward the fulfillment of divine intention. There is a profound reassurance in this. The same Jesus who has always guided the stars, the rivers, and the mountains, now watches over your own life with the same tender care. Reflect on the gentleness of his leadership. Shepherding is not about domination or coercion. It is about nurturing, guiding, and protecting. Jesus' pre-existence as shepherd embodies this gentle authority. He is aware of every step that will be taken, every choice that will be made, every challenge that will arise. Yet, he does not force the path. He leads with love, patience, and wisdom. Even in the unseen spiritual realms, the angels' thrones and dominions are under his careful direction, moving in harmony with his will. Imagine the foresight embedded in his shepherding. The shepherd sees beyond the present moment, beyond what is visible, into the unfolding of history and the potential of every being. He anticipates needs, provides before they are requested, and prepares the way for life to flourish. Even before creation, he knew the joys, sorrows, and struggles that would come, and he already encompassed them within his guidance. This pre-existent care is not reactive. It is proactive, eternal, and filled with love. Now, consider the trust that emerges from resting in the eternal shepherd. A flock follows a shepherd because of confidence in his guidance, knowledge, and care. Similarly, humanity, all life, and even creation itself exist within the careful hands of Jesus. He leads not for control, but for the flourishing of all. There is no need to fear the unknown, no need to doubt his presence. The same shepherd who existed before creation is with you now, guiding your thoughts, protecting your heart, and leading you toward the peace and purpose he intends. Think also of the relational aspect of his shepherding. A shepherd knows each member of the flock individually, and so Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, knows you personally. He knows your joys, your fears, your dreams, and your struggles. Even before your existence, he had prepared a path for you, ensuring that his love, guidance, and care would meet you wherever you are. There is a quiet intimacy in this thought, a gentle reassurance that you are not alone, that the eternal shepherd walks with you even now. Consider the rest and refreshment that flow from his care. Psalm 23 continues, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters." Even before these literal images existed, the eternal shepherd provided rest, guidance, and provision. His pre-existence assures us that his care is not temporary or limited to certain moments. It is continuous, unwavering, and eternal. Every gentle moment of peace, every breath that calms your mind, every quiet pause in your life is a reflection of his ongoing shepherding presence. Now, imagine the fullness of his vision. The shepherd sees the whole picture, the balance of creation, the harmony of life, the interweaving of all things. He knows the beginning and the end, the potential and the outcome, the beauty and the challenges. Every star, every tree, every creature, every human heart exists within his vision. His pre-existent shepherding is comprehensive yet tender, vast yet intimate, eternal yet present. And finally, reflect on the hope embedded in this eternal shepherding. No matter the darkness, no matter the trials, no matter the uncertainty, the shepherd is there. Even before creation, his care was active, his guidance assured, his love unchanging. This hope is a quiet anchor for the soul, a steady presence that can calm every fear and illuminate every shadow. In him there is no wandering, no lost path, no uncertainty that cannot be met with his love and direction. As you rest in this reflection, picture Jesus, the pre-existent shepherd, guiding all things with care, holding the universe and every life within his heart. Feel the gentle weight of his attention, the warmth of his presence, the quiet reassurance that you are known, loved, and led. Even before creation, he was tending to all things, and even now, he continues to shepherd you gently, patiently, and eternally. Number 10. Jesus' presence in prophetic vision. As we continue our journey, let us turn our thoughts to the glimpses of Jesus revealed through the prophets, long before he came in flesh to Bethlehem. Even before creation, his presence was woven into God's plan, foreshadowed in visions and promises that would one day unfold in the world. The prophets, inspired by the Spirit, saw shadows of him, hints of the eternal Word, and the future hope he would bring. Imagine the wonder of a being whose existence transcends time, yet whose coming is foreshadowed through whispers and visions, guiding humanity toward the fulfillment of God's eternal purpose. Picture the world before creation, the vast emptiness, the potential not yet realized. In this expanse, Jesus exists fully radiant, alive, and complete. His pre-existence is not hidden. It is a mystery that reaches forward through time, a presence so profound that even the prophets, centuries later, would sense his light, his authority, his eternal role in God's plan. Isaiah spoke of a child to come, of one who would bear wisdom and light, and long before those words were written, the eternal Christ already held those realities within himself. Think about the awe of prophetic vision. Prophets often saw glimpses of a future that was not yet present, yet they spoke as though it were. They described a king, a redeemer, a shepherd, a light that would pierce the darkness. And all of these visions point to Jesus, the eternal Word, who existed long before creation and before time itself. These prophetic images are not random. They are divine previews, reflections of the eternal reality that has always been. They offer humanity a window into the eternal, a glimpse of the one whose presence sustains all things. Consider the intimate connection between prophecy and pre-existence. The prophets were not merely foretelling events. They were revealing glimpses of an eternal truth. Every vision, every symbol, every word carried a spark of the eternal Word. When the prophets spoke of the Messiah, they were reaching across time to touch the reality that already existed. Jesus, pre-existent, was not bound by the unfolding of history. He was already present, already known, and through the Spirit, humanity was given a taste of that eternal presence, a bridge from the temporal to the infinite. Reflect on the continuity of God's plan revealed in prophecy. Even before the mountains and seas existed, even before humanity was formed, the eternal Word was part of a plan that spans history. The prophetic visions remind us that God's plan is not reactive or improvised. It is deliberate, eternal, and full of wisdom. Every prophetic word, every symbol, every shadow of the Messiah reflects the meticulous care of Jesus, the eternal Christ, in preparing creation and humanity for the fullness of his revelation. Imagine, too, the patience embedded in these prophetic visions. The prophets often waited years, even decades, for the fulfillment of what they foresaw. And yet, from the perspective of eternity, that waiting is a reflection of divine timing. Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, orchestrates events with infinite wisdom, ensuring that every prophecy is fulfilled in the right moment, in perfect alignment with God's purpose. Even before creation, the plan was in motion, and the prophetic glimpses we read about in Scripture are simply the unfolding of a reality that has always existed in the mind and heart of God. Think about the hope that prophetic visions offer. They speak of a coming light, a Redeemer, a King whose presence will transform the world. Even before humanity existed, these glimpses were part of a divine invitation, a promise that the eternal Christ would come to bring salvation, guidance, and restoration. The prophets point us toward this hope, reminding us that nothing is beyond God's control and that the eternal Word has always been present, orchestrating history and sustaining life with perfect wisdom and love. Consider the intimacy of these prophetic revelations. They are not abstract. They are personal, relational, and deeply human. When Isaiah, Jeremiah, Micah, or other prophets spoke of the Messiah, they were speaking to people with hearts, minds, and lives to prepare for his coming. And yet, Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, was already fully aware of every need, every struggle, every life he would touch. Prophecy is a bridge from the eternal to the temporal, from the infinite word to the hearts of humanity, offering guidance, insight, and comfort. Reflect on the beauty of this divine orchestration. Every prophecy, every vision, every shadow of Christ in Scripture is a testament to God's meticulous plan. They reveal the depth of his wisdom, the consistency of his love, and the certainty of his promises. Even before creation, Jesus' presence ensured that humanity would not be left in darkness or uncertainty. Every prophetic word is a whisper of his eternal care, a reminder that he was always present, always watching, and always guiding the unfolding story of the world. Now, picture the quiet wonder of the prophets sensing him, of glimpsing his glory and presence long before his earthly ministry. They spoke of the shepherd, the king, the suffering servant, the light of the nations, all images of the eternal Word whose pre-existence encompasses the fullness of life, love, and wisdom. Even before creation, his presence was real, active, and foundational. And these prophetic visions are a reflection of that eternal reality, offering humanity a glimpse of the one who holds all things together and who will one day walk among us in flesh. Consider, too, the continuity between prophecy and fulfillment. The visions were not merely predictions. They were reflections of eternal truth, anchors of hope, and glimpses of the divine plan. Jesus' pre-existence ensures that every word spoken by the prophets is rooted in reality, not fantasy or wishful thinking. He is the eternal shepherd, the eternal king, the eternal light, and the eternal wisdom that sustains creation. And through prophecy, we are invited to see, to hope, and to trust in the one who existed before time and continues to guide, sustain, and redeem. As you rest in this reflection, imagine the eternal Word extending his presence across time, connecting prophecy to creation, heaven to earth, and eternity to your life. Feel the gentle reassurance that he who was revealed in prophetic visions long before the world existed is the same Jesus who walks with you now, offering guidance, protection, and love. Even before creation, he was actively preparing the way for redemption, for revelation, and for the hope that endures across all generations. So let yourself breathe in this quiet, steady truth. Jesus, the pre-existent Word, was present in prophetic vision, sustaining the unfolding plan of God, offering glimpses of hope and guiding humanity toward the fullness of his love. Even before the stars shone, even before life breathed, he was already at work, and his presence continues to illuminate your path today, gently, patiently, and eternally. Number 11, Jesus as the eternal mediator. As we continue our quiet reflection, let us focus on Jesus as the eternal mediator, the bridge between God and creation, the one who connects the eternal with the temporal, the divine with humanity. 1 Timothy 2:5 tells us, "For there is one God, and there is one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus." Yet even before the incarnation, before the world was formed, Jesus existed in perfect unity with the Father, already serving as the eternal link through which creation, life, and redemption would flow. His role as mediator is not confined to time, it stretches across eternity, encompassing all that was, all that is, and all that will be. Picture a space before time, a realm of infinite stillness and potential. In this space, Jesus stands in intimate fellowship with the Father, fully aware of the needs, challenges, and realities that will one day confront creation and humanity. He is the channel through which God's love, wisdom, and purpose reach the universe. Even before creation, He is bridging the infinite with the finite, preparing every pathway, every covenant, every plan, so that when the time comes, humanity would have access to God's heart, guidance, and salvation. Consider the depth of this eternal mediation. It is not merely functional, it is relational. Jesus does not simply transmit information or enforce law. He embodies connection, understanding, and love. Before the world existed, He was already the living link between the Creator and all that was to be created. Through Him, the thoughts, intentions, and will of God could flow into reality. Every element of creation, from the smallest atom to the vast galaxies, exists within the embrace of this eternal mediation, sustained and directed by the love of the mediator. Imagine, too, the intimacy of this role. A mediator listens, understands, and conveys faithfully. Jesus, in His eternal existence, knows the mind of the Father completely and perfectly understands the needs, potential, and purpose of creation. He is aware of every detail, every choice, every life that will exist. Even before time, He held the universe in His care, ensuring that the channels of communication, guidance, and grace would always be intact. His mediation is active, continuous, and deeply personal. Reflect on the gentleness of this mediation. It is not domineering or coercive, it is patient, nurturing, and wise. Jesus does not force the flow of creation. He facilitates it with care and precision, allowing life to emerge and grow according to God's design. The stars, the seas, the forests, the winds, all respond to His gentle guidance. The spiritual realms, the angels, and the unseen authorities of heaven also operate under His steady hand. He is both the pathway and the sustainer, ensuring that God's will and creation remain in harmonious alignment. Think about the eternal nature of His mediating work. Unlike human mediators, Jesus' role is unbounded by time or limitation. He existed before creation, and His mediation continues into the present and will extend into eternity. Every act of guidance, every whisper of wisdom, every divine provision originates in Him. Before the world existed, He was already actively holding all things together, connecting the Creator's heart with the unfolding story of creation. Consider also the protective aspect of His mediation. A mediator safeguards the integrity of communication and relationship. Jesus ensures that the perfect understanding and love of the Father can reach every aspect of creation. Even before humans or life existed, the eternal Word was ensuring that when creation came into being, there would be a pathway for grace, guidance, and restoration. Nothing would be left to chance. Everything was accounted for in His eternal loving mediation. Picture the hope embedded in this truth. The eternal mediator guarantees that humanity and all creation have access to God's love and purpose. Even when life seems uncertain, even when the world appears chaotic, Jesus stands as the bridge, the faithful presence connecting us to the eternal heart of God. There is a calm assurance in knowing that no distance, no darkness, no limitation can separate us from the divine love that flows through the mediator. Reflect, too, on the relational beauty of his mediation. Jesus understands not only the mind of God, but also the hearts of creation. He knows your thoughts, your fears, your desires, your dreams. Even before your existence, he anticipated your needs, weaving them into the eternal plan. His mediation is not abstract. It is tender, relational, and deeply personal. You are not overlooked. You are known, guided, and loved by the eternal mediator. Now consider the continuous nature of his work. Jesus does not pause, rest, or limit his mediation to specific moments. He continually connects God to creation, eternity to time, heaven to earth. Every living creature, every heartbeat, every thought exists within his care. Even the smallest actions, the quietest moments, the most hidden choices are encompassed by his eternal presence. This is the beauty and depth of Christ's mediating role, complete, continuous, and compassionate. Imagine the layers of his mediation. He connects not only creation to the Father, but also the unfolding of history to the eternal purpose. Every prophetic word, every covenant, every act of divine guidance flows through him. Before creation, he anticipated the challenges, joys, and trials that would arise, ensuring that every human, every creature, and every spiritual being would have access to the Father's will and love. This is not a distant oversight. It is an intimate, caring, and active presence. Consider the reassurance this offers. In moments of doubt, when questions arise, when life feels uncertain or overwhelming, the eternal mediator is present. The same Jesus who existed before the world was formed is with you now, guiding, sustaining, and connecting your heart to the Father's eternal love. Nothing is outside his care. No thought is too small, no worry too great. Every aspect of your life is enveloped by his presence. Finally, let us reflect on the invitation embedded in this truth. The eternal mediator offers rest, guidance, and access to God's heart. Even before creation, he prepared the pathways for relationship, love, and understanding. Today, in this quiet moment, he extends that same presence to you. You can rest in him, trust in him, and be guided by his gentle, unwavering hand. The eternal Word, the pre-existent Christ, continues to bridge heaven and earth, eternity and time, divine purpose and human life. As you hold this image in your heart, imagine the calm, gentle assurance of the eternal mediator embracing all of creation and reaching specifically to you. Every whisper of guidance, every breath of comfort, every touch of wisdom comes through him. Even before creation, he was actively holding the universe and every heart within his care, ensuring that God's love, plan, and presence would always be accessible. You are part of that eternal, loving mediation, and it continues to sustain and guide you now. Number 12. Jesus as the source of joy and delight. As we continue our gentle journey, let us turn our thoughts to the joy and delight that radiate from Jesus, the eternal Word. Proverbs 8:30 tells us, "Then I was beside him like a master workman, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing before him always, even before the universe was formed, before mountains, rivers, and seas existed." Jesus existed in perfect communion with the Father, rejoicing in the work of creation that was yet to come. Picture that eternal delight, a joy so full, so complete, that it does not depend on anything outside of him. It is self-existent, eternal, and overflowing, radiating into every corner of eternity. Imagine the formless void before creation, Within that vast, silent expanse, the Word rejoices, not in emptiness, but in the potential of what is to come. This is a joy that is deeply creative, intertwined with love, wisdom, and purpose. Every star, every planet, every blade of grass, every living creature would one day be shaped by His delight. Before the first light scattered across the cosmos, before the first heartbeat of life, Jesus' joy was present, active, and anticipating the beauty and complexity that would unfold. His joy is not fleeting or reactive. It is eternal, steady, and deeply relational, flowing naturally from His intimate communion with the Father. Consider the intimacy of this joy. It is not detached or abstract. It is relational, woven into the very fabric of creation. Even before humans existed, even before time had a measure, Jesus rejoiced in the possibilities of life, in the potential for relationship, in the eventual connection with every heart that would turn to Him. His delight is personal and tender, encompassing the vastness of creation while reaching into the smallest detail. Every seed, every star, every human heart carries the echo of His joy, a gentle whisper of love and care that continues to sustain the world. Reflect on the gentleness of this eternal delight. Joy, in its purest form, does not force or demand. It nurtures, encourages, and celebrates. The joy of Jesus before creation is expressed in anticipation, in careful preparation, in the meticulous design of every aspect of the universe. It rejoices in order, in beauty, in harmony, and in life. Every ripple in the oceans, every gust of wind, every dawn that will one day break across the earth is a reflection of this divine delight. There is a quiet majesty in knowing that the joy of Christ flows through creation, sustaining it, guiding it, and illuminating it. Think about the continuity of His joy. It existed before creation, continues through the unfolding of history, and reaches into the present moment of your life. This is not a distant theoretical happiness. It is an active, living, sustaining joy that is deeply personal. Even now, in your quiet reflection, you can sense its gentle presence, offering reassurance, hope, and comfort. His joy is a reminder that life is not random or chaotic, but purposeful, cherished, and celebrated by the eternal Word. Consider, too, the hope embedded in His delight. Joy precedes creation, guiding, sustaining, and inspiring every act of divine intention. The eternal Word rejoices in the unfolding of every covenant, in the fulfillment of every promise, and in the eventual redemption of humanity. His delight is not superficial, it is profound, steady, and unwavering. It encompasses all time, all space, all hearts, all life. And in this, there is profound reassurance. Nothing is outside the care of the one who delights eternally, nothing is beyond His joy, and every moment of life is infused with the possibility of His love and celebration. Imagine the relational beauty of this joy. Just as a parent delights in a child, just as a gardener rejoices in the first bloom, the eternal Word rejoices in the unfolding of creation. Every star, every ocean, every leaf, and every human life is precious. And His delight reflects that intimacy. His joy is not passive. It participates, it shapes, it nurtures, and it sustains. Even before creation, the Word anticipated the beauty of life and relationship, and that same joy reaches into your life now, guiding and comforting you gently. Think about the transformative nature of this joy. Joy is not simply an emotion. It is an active force, shaping perception, inspiring action, and infusing life with purpose. The pre-existent Christ's delight is part of the framework of creation, a guiding force that ensures order, beauty, and flourishing. Even before the first breath of life, His joy ensured that creation would reflect harmony, wisdom, and love. This joy is not limited to the grand or visible. It is present in the intimate, the small, the subtle. Every quiet moment of peace, every soft smile, every act of love and kindness is touched by this eternal delight. Consider also the gentleness of his approach. Jesus' delight is never coercive or demanding. It is an invitation, a quiet presence that encourages, guides, and inspires. Even before creation, this joy was patient, waiting for the right moment, preparing the world with care and nurturing the potential of every life. There is a lesson here for us. Joy in its purest form is patient, thoughtful, and abundant. It does not force outcomes but allows beauty, growth, and love to emerge naturally. As you meditate on this, picture the eternal Word rejoicing over creation, over humanity, over every unfolding moment of life. Feel the warmth, the comfort, and the gentle assurance that His delight is not confined to the distant past, but continues to embrace you now. Every breath, every heartbeat, every quiet moment carries the echo of this eternal joy, inviting you to rest, trust, and participate in the life He sustains. So, as you sit in the quiet, imagine Jesus' pre-existent delight enveloping the world and your heart. Let it settle gently within you, a soft glow of love, assurance, and hope. His joy is eternal, tender, and personal, guiding every detail of creation and touching every moment of your life. Even before the stars shone, even before life breathed, the eternal Word rejoiced, and that same joy continues to shine upon you now, softly, gently, endlessly. Number 13, Jesus and the Mystery of Eternity. As we continue this quiet journey, let us now contemplate the mystery of eternity and the profound place of Jesus within it. Isaiah 55:8-9 whispers a truth that is both humbling and awe-inspiring. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Even before creation, the eternal Word existed within this mystery, a being beyond time, beyond space, beyond human comprehension, yet intimately aware of all that would ever come to be. The mystery of eternity is not something to solve. It is something to enter into, to rest within, to experience the wonder of a presence that has no beginning and no end. Picture a reality before time, before stars, before the cycles of day and night, before life as we know it. In this vast expanse, Jesus exists fully, eternally, and without limitation. He is the eternal Word present with the Father, full of wisdom, love, and power. And yet, even as we marvel at this, we recognize that human minds cannot fully grasp it. Eternity is not measured in minutes, hours, or centuries. It is an unbroken continuum, a vast, infinite expanse that defies our logic and imagination. And Jesus exists within this continuum, fully conscious, fully active, fully divine. Reflect on the wonder of this truth. Before mountains rose, before oceans carved their paths, before life breathed, Jesus was already present, already aware, already rejoicing, guiding, and sustaining. He is beyond the constraints of our understanding. Yet every action, every creation, every movement flows from Him. He is the eternal Word whose wisdom, love, and purpose encompass all things. Even the tiniest detail of creation, every atom, every heartbeat, every thought of humanity, is known to Him. This is a presence that is infinite, yet intimately personal, vast, yet tenderly aware of each life, including your own. Think about the awe of eternity. To consider Jesus within this vast mystery is to recognize the limits of human understanding. We measure time, count days, anticipate events, and yet eternity stretches beyond comprehension. Even the centuries, millennia, and billions of years of cosmic history are mere moments to the eternal Word. And within this infinite span, He orchestrates creation with care, wisdom, and love. There is a quiet humility in resting within this understanding, a recognition that some truths are too vast, too deep, too eternal for the human mind alone. Consider also the intimacy of eternity. Though it is vast and incomprehensible, eternity is not distant. Jesus is present within it, active, tender, and relational. He knows your heart, your struggles, your joys, and your fears. Even before you existed, He was aware of you, preparing pathways for your life, planning for your existence, and ensuring that His love and care would reach you. Eternity is not abstract or indifferent. It is relational, and the eternal Word is deeply engaged with creation and with every heart. Reflect on the balance of mystery and presence. Eternity is a paradox. It is incomprehensible, yet it is intimately close. Jesus, in His pre-existence, embodies this truth. He is both beyond and within, infinite and personal, vast and tender. This is a reminder that the eternal God does not operate in abstraction. He interacts, cares, and sustains. Even before the first dawn, His presence encompassed all that would exist, holding it in harmony, order, and love. Now imagine the serenity that comes from resting in this mystery. To know that Jesus exists beyond the limits of time and space is not meant to confuse or frighten, but to comfort. It is a reminder that the one who holds the cosmos in His hands also holds you. His eternity is stable, unchanging, and trustworthy. There is peace in knowing that nothing escapes His knowledge, nothing is beyond His care, and everything unfolds within His perfect understanding. Think about the implications for life. When we encounter uncertainty, pain, or questions, the eternal Word remains constant. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His pre-existence ensures that every aspect of creation, every human life, every moment of history is encompassed within His eternal awareness. There is a deep reassurance here. Nothing in our lives is outside His understanding, and nothing in the universe is beyond His care. Consider the humility and wonder that come from meditating on this mystery. We are small, finite, and temporal, yet we are intimately known by the One who is infinite, eternal, and unbounded. This recognition is both comforting and awe-inspiring. The eternal Word bridges the gap between the vastness of eternity and the intimacy of personal relationship. Even before creation, He was aware of every detail, every need, and every heart. Reflect on the joy within this mystery. Eternity is not just vast, it is filled with love, delight, and purpose. Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, rejoices in the unfolding of creation, in the lives of humanity, and in the unfolding of God's plan. His presence is active, sustaining, and guiding. Even when life seems uncertain, even when the world appears chaotic, we can rest in the gentle assurance that He is eternally aware, eternally present, and eternally loving. As you sit with this thought, allow yourself to enter the mystery gently. Imagine the vast expanse of eternity, and within it, the tender personal presence of Jesus. Feel the quiet assurance that the same Word who has always existed, who has held all creation in His care, who rejoices in the unfolding of God's plan, is present with you now. His eternal wisdom, love, and presence touch your life, offering comfort, guidance, and peace. So, let your mind rest in the wonder and mystery of Jesus' eternity. The pre-existent Word encompasses all things, holds all things, and reaches into your life with tender care. Even before creation, he existed fully, rejoicing, guiding, and sustaining. And that same presence, that same eternal love continues to meet you now, gently, patiently, and endlessly. Number 14, Jesus as the unchanging anchor. As we continue this quiet journey, let us focus on the unchanging nature of Jesus, the eternal anchor for all that exists. Hebrews 13:8 gently reminds us, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Even before creation, before the first light illuminated the void, before the first rivers carved their paths, Jesus existed as the steadfast, unshakable presence upon which all life and reality would rest. Imagine a world without beginnings or endings, yet within that expanse, a constant, unwavering anchor holds everything in balance. This is the eternal nature of Christ. Picture the vastness of pre-creation, an infinite void of potential and silence. Into this, Jesus stands as the eternal anchor, unchanging, complete, and filled with perfect love and wisdom. Every law of nature, every rhythm of life, every element of creation is not random, but flows from his consistent and enduring presence. The mountains, the stars, the seas, all find their foundation in him. He is the unmovable heart within a universe of potential, the stable center around which all things revolve. Before time itself, he was already holding everything together with a calm, tender, and perfect strength. Consider the peace that comes from this unchanging presence. In our lives, everything feels temporary. Relationships, circumstances, emotions, even our own understanding. Yet the eternal Word provides a steadfast anchor that does not falter. He existed before the world was made, and he continues to hold all things together now. His unchanging nature ensures that every aspect of creation, every heartbeat, every thought, every life is encompassed within his care. There is a profound reassurance in this truth. No matter how shifting or unpredictable life may feel, the anchor of Christ remains unmovable. Reflect also on the intimacy of his constancy. Although he is vast, eternal, and beyond comprehension, he is tenderly aware of every life, every heart, and every moment. He is not a distant or indifferent anchor. He is present, relational, and involved. The same hands that would eventually reach down to cradle humanity in love were already present before creation, holding the entire universe securely and lovingly. There is a quiet comfort in knowing that the one who upholds the stars also upholds you with perfect understanding and care. Think about the stability this unchanging nature provides. Just as an anchor secures a ship amidst storms, Jesus holds creation in harmony, order, and purpose. Even before the mountains, the seas, or life itself existed, he was the steady force ensuring that everything would unfold according to the divine plan. His constancy is not static. It is active, sustaining, and dynamic, yet always rooted in perfect wisdom and love. Every movement, every ripple, every breath of life rests upon him. Consider the trust we can place in such an unchanging presence. In a world where things constantly shift, where uncertainty often clouds our hearts, the eternal Word offers a safe, unwavering foundation. He existed before the void became light, before creation began, and he continues to remain faithful, holding all things securely. There is no shadow too dark, no challenge too great, no moment too chaotic for his steadfast presence. This assurance invites us to release fear, surrender anxiety, and rest in his eternal constancy. Imagine, too, the continuity of his unchanging nature. All that has been, all that is, and all that will be exists within his enduring presence. His faithfulness is not reactive or dependent on circumstances. It is intrinsic, eternal, and complete. Every covenant, every promise, every act of creation flows from the stability of his character. Even before time itself, he was the reliable, unwavering anchor, ensuring that everything would function according to divine intention. Reflect on the relational dimension of this anchor. Jesus' constancy is not merely structural, it is personal. He knows every human heart, every intention, every struggle, and every joy. Even before creation, he was aware of the lives that would emerge, the paths that would be walked, and the hearts that would seek him. His unchanging nature is a gift to humanity, a tether that connects us to eternity, a guide that ensures that we are never truly adrift. Consider the hope embedded in this truth. The world may shift, seasons may change, and life may feel uncertain. But the eternal Word is unchanging. He is the anchor that holds every star, every river, every life, and every soul. Even before the first dawn, he existed as the foundation of stability. And that same presence continues to guide, sustain, and comfort you now. There is a serenity in this, a peace that surpasses understanding, a quiet joy that comes from resting in an eternal, unshakable love. Think about the gentle power of this unchanging anchor. He does not dominate or impose. He upholds, guides, and sustains with tender authority. Every law of nature, every rhythm of life, every heartbeat of humanity flows through him. Even the unseen spiritual realms are held in balance by his steady hand. This unchanging nature is both majestic and intimate, vast yet personal, strong yet tender, offering reassurance and rest to all who turn toward him. As you meditate on this, picture yourself gently resting within his unchanging presence. Feel the quiet strength, the calm assurance, the tender care that has held creation from eternity past. Every moment of life, every breath, every izzy is encompassed by the eternal anchor of Christ, who existed before the world began and continues to sustain all things now. His unchanging nature is a refuge, a shelter, and a guide, inviting you to trust, to rest, and to be held within his eternal care. So, let your heart be still and your mind rest in this truth. Jesus, the eternal Word, is the unchanging anchor of all creation. He existed before the stars, before the seas, before life itself. He continues to hold everything, including your heart, with perfect wisdom, perfect love, and perfect constancy. And in him there is peace, rest, and a quiet, enduring joy that you can carry into every moment of your life. Number 15, Jesus preparing the way for redemption. As we move into the final section of this journey through eternity, let us pause to reflect on Jesus' pre-existence as the one who prepared the way for redemption. Even before creation, before light illuminated the void, before life breathed upon the earth, Jesus was intimately involved in the plan of salvation. He is not only the Word, the life, the light, and the shepherd, but also the eternal Redeemer whose heart beats with purpose and love for every soul. The story of redemption did not begin in Bethlehem. It existed long before, held within the eternal mind and heart of Christ. Picture the vast silence before creation, a canvas not yet formed, a world not yet shaped. Within that stillness, Jesus is present, already aware of the human story, already anticipating the choices, struggles, and need for grace that would arise. Every covenant, every promise, every prophetic vision is rooted in his pre-existent purpose to redeem, restore, and reconcile creation to God. Before sin, before the fall, before the first human walked the earth, Jesus had already conceived the plan to restore what would one day be broken, a loving and tender design woven into the very fabric of eternity. Reflect on the depth of this preparation. Redemption is not a reactive response. It is proactive, eternal, and intentional. Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, orchestrates every detail, ensuring that creation, humanity, and history are aligned in such a way that the gift of salvation would become possible. Even before the world existed, the framework for forgiveness, grace, and restoration was established in his heart. Every law, every covenant, every promise to humanity flows from this pre-existent desire to reconcile all things to the Father. Consider the intimacy of his preparation. Redemption is not abstract or impersonal. Jesus' plan is relational, reaching into every life, anticipating every heart, and preparing a pathway for restoration. Before we were born, before our stories unfolded, he had already paved the way for connection, for forgiveness, for healing. Every choice, every action, every breath of life is encompassed within this eternal design. There is a tender awareness here. The same Jesus who held the universe in his hands also holds the individual paths of every heart, including yours. Think about the wisdom embedded in this plan. Hebrews 4:14-16 reminds us that we have a high priest who is able to sympathize with our weaknesses, one who was foreseen and appointed by God for this role. Jesus' pre-existence ensures that he understands every struggle, every temptation, every shadow of sin that would challenge humanity. He prepares the way with infinite foresight, creating a plan that is both perfect and tender. Even before the mountains rose or the oceans flowed, he anticipated the redemption story, weaving grace into the foundation of creation itself. Reflect on the patience of this preparation. Redemption is a process unfolding across time, history, and generations. Before creation, Jesus anticipated the long journey humanity would take, the challenges that would arise, the darkness that would need light, and the hope that would be necessary. He was not hurried or reactive. His plan was deliberate, careful, and full of love. Every prophetic word, every covenant, every guiding act in history is an extension of this pre-existent preparation, ensuring that the path to salvation would be accessible, clear, and full of grace. Consider the joy and anticipation embedded in this work. Proverbs 8:30 speaks of rejoicing in creation, and similarly, Jesus rejoices in the unfolding plan of redemption. Even before creation, he delighted in the eventual reconciliation of humanity to the Father. This joy is not distant or abstract. It is personal, relational, and enduring. It reflects a love that spans eternity, reaching forward across time to meet each soul with grace and compassion. Imagine the relational dimension of this preparation. Redemption is deeply personal. Jesus knows the hearts of humanity intimately, the needs, the struggles, and the potential for restoration. Before you existed, he had already envisioned your life, your choices, and your journey. He prepared the way for you to encounter his grace, to receive his love, and to experience the fullness of salvation. His preparation is not just cosmic. It touches every life intimately, offering hope, healing, and connection. Think about the beauty of this eternal plan. Every prophetic vision, every covenant, every act of creation is infused with the purpose of redemption. Even before sin entered the world, the solution, the Savior, the pathway to restoration was already in place. Jesus' pre-existence ensures that redemption is not a haphazard response, but an eternal, intentional act of love. Every detail of creation, every heartbeat of humanity, every whisper of history aligns with this divine purpose. Reflect on the protective nature of this preparation. Jesus anticipates the brokenness that will come, the struggles, the despair, the separation from God, and prepares the pathway to healing. Before the first human step, before the first choice, he ensures that grace will be available, that forgiveness will be possible, and that restoration is always within reach. There is a quiet assurance in knowing that nothing is outside the scope of his love and foresight. Consider, too, the hope this brings. In a world filled with uncertainty, pain, and moments of doubt, the pre-existent Jesus has prepared the way for redemption. Nothing can thwart his plan, nothing can overcome his love, and nothing can prevent the fulfillment of his purpose. Every human heart, every life, every story is encompassed within his eternal design, providing guidance, grace, and hope. Think about the continuity of his work. Redemption flows seamlessly from eternity into time. The pre-existent Word who shaped creation, sustained life, and guided every detail continues his work of preparation and restoration in every human heart, every relationship, and every life story. His presence is eternal, steady, and deeply personal, offering grace, hope, and light at every stage of life. Finally, imagine resting in this truth. The same Jesus who existed before creation, who prepared the way for every heart, who rejoices in the unfolding plan of redemption, is present with you now. Every breath, every moment of reflection, every step you take is guided by the eternal Word who holds all things, including you, within his loving care. His preparation for redemption is complete, steadfast, and endlessly patient, offering hope, grace, and restoration for every soul willing to receive it. As you breathe in this gentle reflection, feel the peace of knowing that Jesus, pre-existent and eternal, prepared the way for redemption long before the world began. His love, wisdom, and care encompass every detail of creation and every moment of your life. Even before time, he was working for your salvation, and that same presence is with you now, guiding, sustaining, and filling your heart with hope, joy, and peace. Conclusion: resting in the eternal presence of Christ. As we reach the gentle close of this journey, take a slow, deep breath and feel the quiet weight of eternity resting around you. We have wandered through the vast, unbroken stillness before creation, tracing the presence of Jesus from the eternal Word, the Creator, the life and light, to the Shepherd, the King, the Mediator, and the source of eternal joy and wisdom. We have touched the mystery of his eternity, felt the steadiness of his unchanging nature, and glimpsed the tender preparation for redemption that existed long before time began. And now, in this quiet moment, all of that presence is reaching toward you here and now, inviting you to rest, to surrender, and to simply be. Imagine a gentle light surrounding you, warm and steady, a reflection of the eternal Word who has held the universe in his hands. That same light, that same love reaches into your own life, touching every fear, every doubt, every shadow with grace and peace. It is a presence that does not demand or rush, that does not question or condemn, but simply enfolds you with the assurance that you are known, loved, and cherished beyond measure. The vastness of eternity and the intimacy of his care converge in this moment, offering a gentle sanctuary for your heart and mind. Let yourself rest in the wonder of his eternal nature, the one who existed before the stars, before the oceans, before life itself, is still present with you. His wisdom guides, his joy uplifts, his shepherding protects, and his light illuminates. There is no need to hold on to anxiety, no need to carry burdens alone. The eternal Word, Jesus Christ, has been and will always be the anchor, the guide, and the companion of your soul. You are safe in his presence, surrounded by a love that transcends time and reaches into the deepest corners of your heart. As you feel this calm, allow the mind to slow, the body to settle, and the heart to open to rest. Let the images of stars, mountains, rivers, and light fade gently into the quiet peace of the present moment. Every heartbeat is a reminder that the same eternal Word who guided creation and prepared the way for redemption is with you now, holding all things, sustaining all life, and inviting you into a gentle surrender to His love. Now, as the night grows quiet and your thoughts soften, imagine a final peaceful image. A gentle lamplight fading in a quiet room. The hush of snowfall settling across a still landscape. Or the calm ripple of the ocean under a moonlit sky. Let this image rest in your mind as a reflection of the eternal peace and presence of Christ. And in this calm, whisper-like moment, know that the eternal Word who existed before the world was made continues to walk with you, watch over you, and love you deeply. Good night, and may the eternal presence of Jesus, the Word, the Light, the Shepherd, and the Redeemer fill your heart with peace, hope, and gentle rest.